Alright, so now I'm just going to go through the steps I went through to create this scene here, where Matt says, after 2 seconds of sitting still, he says, "Yes, miss," and then this warning screen comes up.
Yes, miss.
There we go, and it plays through. Alright, so what we're going to do is get a new composition. Okay, oh, caps lock's on. Composition. So we want to make sure it's 1920 by 1280. The reason for that is because the scenes or the photos I have of the scenes are 1920 by 1280, which means they're the perfect size and we're not stretching or anything to the photo. Right? And we want the background to be, we'll keep it white, and 24 frames per second. Sweet. There we go. Caps lock was on. Alright, so what we want to do, we want to start by going into Photoshop and go File, Open. So you just want to get your scene up. So it's that one there. Alright, and what you want to do is unlock the layer first. And we just want to, so we want to create two different layers here. So one is the background and one is the front, so the body can sit in the chair and it'll look like that because the desk will be on top of him while you'll still see the body on top of this. So just quickly do this real quick. Don't have to be picky about it. Alright. Go make selection. Okay, make sure this is unlocked. Alright, now we want to go Command Shift I, and because this is the background, we can delete the background and we only have to save the front. Alright, and then just Command D to release that. Command D stops the line. Alright, and what else we want to do? Alright, so we want to go Control Shift S, or Command Shift S if you're on Mac, and save this as 1. Alright, now I've already done this, but the good thing about working in After Effects is that you can save PSDs and you can still open them, which is good. So that means you don't have to save them as a PNG or anything like that. So I don't have to do it, but it'll be there. Alright, now close that. Alright, so if we go into this and we go File, Import, and then you just want to import the scene. So mine is Matt, and then the bottom one, there we go. Alright, now we just drag these onto the composition here, and as you can see they've scaled really big. So what we're going to do is go into here, transform, scale it, and we're just going to scale it down from 100 to 38. And there we go, it fits perfectly, both of them. So like highlighting both of them scales both of them down. So as you can see, if we delete the top one, which is the background, deletes that, and if we delete the front one, you won't see a difference because it's the exact same. But I'll show you this way. So there's nothing there. So that's what that bottom layer is. Alright, so now we want to get the person. So I've already imported it here. So it's just this stuff here. So on the shirt. So I want that to be there. Alright, so this is in the wrong order. So the bottom needs to be on the top and the background needs to be at the back. There we go, and now we can see that. Yep. Alright, now we just want to get all of this. Now importing all of this onto the composition here, they're all scaled big, but they're all, compared to each other, they're all the same scale. So if we hold click and shift, it scales it down for us. However, it's not like Photoshop where you press shift and then click. You need to go click shift. Alright, Now it's a reasonable size. I'll just sort out all the parts here. I know this is creepy, but so we want the shirt to be on top here. And the lower arms. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so that's the body done. So by doing that we can move the body later on and rotate it, things like that. But we don't need to do that at the moment. Not for this scene anyway. Alright, now we want to just get the face. So I've already imported it. And the good thing about After Effects is you can import heaps of files and they're just available to you. You don't have to keep going file import. So I just have to find Matt. There we go. There's his mouth. Get his mouth. There. And his hair and his face. And like I said, you don't have to save them as PNGs. You can save them as PSDs, which are Photoshop files. You get the rotate tool there. Right, and we can just scale that down. Click Shift. How come the mouth is not selected? And you want to select all the parts so they all scale down at the same size. Alright. Now the face has to be at the back. Mouth. Sensitive mouth, this one. And as you can see, they all fit together perfectly. That's because I've scaled them down at the same rate. I'll put the mouth in place. There we go, perfect. Now, as you can see, this is a lot of layers just to create one scene here. That's how many, that's 10 layers. Now, what we want to do is we want to pre-compose this so it's its own little scene. So, pre-compose, and we'll call it Matt. Okay. And we want to input the music. As I said, I've already got it, so just find it now. There it is. Alright, now, with music, you go to audio, click these little arrows here. As you can see, it's very low and I can't tell really. So what I want to do is I'm just going to increase the size, the decibels, that's what the dB stands for here. I'll just play it through so I can listen to it.
Yes, miss.
Do you guys hear that? So this part here is just me pressing the button on the recorder, and we don't want that.
Yes, miss.
Alright, so all we want is this juice here, so we can just shorten it. Alright, to about a second, 1.5 seconds, something like that. Alright, 1.8. So after 2 seconds, we want him to say yes, miss. So if we just zoom in here, we can see that after exactly 2 seconds, it's going to start. So right now, over here, as you can see by this arc here, that it's 0 here, so he's not saying anything. So we want to go into Matt, and we want to go into his mouth, not in that sick way. And as you can see, by clicking here, that's the exact same position here. So we just want to keyframe that position there, so it's at 0. Now, if we look at this, it's on the rise here, and since we can't get it spot on, this frame here, we want his mouth to be open, because that's the middle of the word he's saying. So we can just go, click that, and when doing that, it will automatically keyframe for us. So if we go here again and we just go sideways over here, it keyframes it there for us. We don't want that. Alright. Now if we go here, if I listen to it real quick,
Yes, miss.
even though it looks like it's two different things, it's actually one word. So that's up there. So we want it to be down there. That's when he stops saying that one word. So that's when his mouth recloses. Alright, and as you can see, it automatically keyframes for us. And then same thing with this again, it's an automatic, it's just one word, sorry. So we go here. See how it's like a long period here, so what I want to do is I want to have his mouth stay shut until then. So we want to copy and paste this thing here. So see how it's highlighted. If I press Ctrl C, I'm copying it and then pasting wherever my red line is. So these are the same. So as you see, nothing happens between here, but between these two, it's moving. Alright, so this is about the middle of the word, but we want them to be slowly declining, so about there. That's just opening it up there. And then it closes there. Wait. Closes there. So we can have it close there. Boom, done, and it's already done there. Alright, so we can close that. Now if we zoom out, you'll see after 2 seconds, you'll say yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Beautiful. Alright, now I said before that we want to have that warning thing come up. So we want to drag that picture onto the composition here. Scale it down to 38% again. Just want to zoom out and see that's the exact good size. Alright. So at the moment that thing's constant, so we just want to shorten it to after he says yes, miss. And we'll just have that for 1.8. We'll have that for 2 seconds, let's say. Should be perfect. Alright. So, this composition here also works like a layer system, like in Photoshop. So whatever's on top is on top. So see how here it's disappeared because I've made it shorter, and so it'll be on top here because I've made it long enough, but I just want to keep it there. So as we go along, and then all of a sudden over here this is on top, so it will appear, and then it disappears there, so it goes back to the one next to it, which below it, which is this thing here. You see that? Right. So, and that's about it. Yeah. And so, obviously this thing here will just be another pre-composition, and it will have someone say that their thing. So as they're talking, what I'll do is there'll just be like switching. So it'll be that, and then I'd have to copy and paste this, and then you see, so he would say yes, miss, and someone might reply to him in that thing there, and then he would reply to what he said, and then they'll reply again. Alright, so that's it.
Yes, miss.
It's done. Now, I want to show you how I exported this. So now, there's two ways to export it. There's through the render queue in After Effects, which is, export. That's the render queue. So we'll do both actually. Alright. So lossless. 96 for the best quality. Okay. I'll just let that render, and I'll show you the other way. So we're going to go File, Export, and then the media encoder. Let's wait for it to show up. There it is. Taking a little while. Alright. Loading. Just drag this composition. Wait, oh, we'll just. Oops, we don't want to do that. Oh, there it is. Alright, now, if we open up this, we can see the quality this is at. So if we want, I want it at MP4, but obviously doing it on a Mac, it doesn't look good. So you might think this is good, but if you look at the size, it's very small. This is like an iPod size, whereas we want it for a computer. So I'm going to do it as QuickTime and convert it later. So it's 720p, and see, it's the actual size that it is. Maximum, and we'll save it. So this is the media encoder version. Alright, we'll save it to the desktop there. Alright, I'm just gonna let that render through. Be real quick because it's only 10 seconds.
Previously.
Just taking a little while. Alright, so we'll just find that's the media encoder version. We'll just go to stuff where it's saved. Should have saved in there. Composition 3. Alright, now, so that's done there. So we can close that. Now, if we look at composition 3, you can get the, 1.49 gigs. Now we'll look at the media encoded version. 5.9 gigs. Megabytes, sorry. Look how small that is in comparison. So this one is almost a gig larger than this one. Now, if I try to play it through, the media encoder version will play straight away, as you can see. However, if I tried the... Nope, going on there. Get animation stuff. Days. Oh no, it's only on the desktop. Where is it? There it is. It will try convert because it's in too high of a quality, and it's very high size, where the media encoder version is the same quality but a very low size, as you can see. So exporting in media encoder, which will mean it's very small, which means when it's on YouTube and things like that, it'll be quick loading for the user. So this will play through. And it has to load here. You see how it's going back all the time? And it's not playing properly.
Yes, miss.
It's going back because it's rendering as it's playing. It shouldn't do that. And so, yeah. So I don't want to save that. Don't save. And that's how I made all of the scenes for my animation.